Plump Goops Podcast.
Get a load of these hot takes at high stakes. Get a load of these hot takes at high stakes. Get a load of these hot takes at high stakes. Get a load of these hot takes at high stakes.
We're back. We're back. He's back.
Live to you in Rotospan.
No, Tanner. This isn't live. That's all a construct that you've built up in your head. We're actually in the Matrix. You know how all these internet people keep getting in trouble and claiming that they're in the Matrix?
No.
But the reason they got in trouble is because they're in the Matrix. Yeah, that's happening.
Kind of like Andrew Tate, right? He
Yeah.
I haven't heard that
said,
before.
"I'm in the Matrix." You
Kinda like
can't
Andrew
hold me
Tate.
responsible.
Right. I can't be held responsible for anything that happens in the Matrix. And
Exactly.
this,
Does that mean like
This-
their life isn't real or something? And
something like
it's
the
a weird
Matrix.
I
is
don't
out
like
to
that
get
trend.
me.
I don't like this trend. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Well, good thing for you is that we're in
I'm
the
not in
Matrix
the
of
Matrix?
takes. No, we're in the Matrix of takes.
Hmm.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Takes High Stakes. This is the only podcast that takes place in the Matrix. And I know that that's Tanner's absolute least favorite thing in the entire world.
Are you talking about me?
No. I've already done the whole intro.
Anybody got a warm-up take for us? Something spicy?
So
It
it's
feels
less
like
of
you
a
do.
warm-up take.
Oh,
So
no,
it's
Tanner.
I definitely had one, but
less
I'm
of a
gonna save it.
warm-up take and more of an idiom of the day. How's that now?
I mean, not great, but if it's all we have, I guess we have to hear it.
All right, the idiom of the day is a bowl in a china cabinet.
No,
No,
that's not what it is.
but what do you
That's
mean?
the
by
idiom
that?
of the day.
What do you
You
mean by
know
that?
what?
Like the idiom, or why is it the idiom of the day?
No, the thing is, you know that that's not the right way to say it.
That's the only way to say it.
No.
It's
Okay.
my way to say it.
So it's like, what kind of bowl are you talking about?
Like the animal.
There was an easy there's
Like
an easy
you're a
way
bowl. You're
Yeah.
a bowl in a china cabinet. Yeah.
So there was an easy way for you to dig yourself out of the hole that you've entrapped yourself in by saying that it's a bowl. Because of the animal, a bowl can't fit in a cabinet, Tanner.
That's the idea. A bowl wouldn't fit in a china cabinet.
So it's like a fish out of water type idiom.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
We got a follow-up for that. It's kind of Ronick-esque, if you will. I was kind of cook
Wait,
on
I'm
this
confused. Are you
warm-up take.
disagreeing with the idiom?
No, I'm
Me?
disagreeing with it. I'm disagreeing with it straight up.
I mean, there's nothing to agree or disagree with, though. You just said an idiom.
How is the proper way to say it in your opinion?
Well, what I've heard is bowl in a china shop, because the bowl is running around kind of knocking over things. Fragile china, if you will.
Yeah.
So like a bowl fits in a store, it's uncomfortable and it knocks things over. It's not where it's supposed to be, and it's wreaking havoc.
Like
Whereas,
an elephant in the room.
yeah,
An elephant wouldn't fit in a room, right? Like
Yeah, you're an idiot.
it depends.
you could think
Depends.
about it like that.
Anyway,
Depends on the
Resma,
cat.
what were you gonna say? You had some kind of counter to Tanner's idiom.
Not a counter, kind of like an alley-oop. My warm-up take is that all dishes could be classified as some sort of a bowl. What do you think about that?
Whose dishes is the bowl?
Any dish, like a plate or a cup, is a variation of a bowl.
Okay, agreed.
Whoa, but you're okay. What about, like, what do you classify as a dish? Like, when you're saying I'm doing the dishes, do like pans count as dishes? Like
Pans
cookware?
count. Pans are definitely bowls. I mean, they've got the little lip at the end.
No, I see that. What about a cutting board?
I mean, that's just a really bad bowl. Why would you use that to carry any sort
No.
of soup or a liquid?
No one's asking you to. It has a different purpose.
There you go. It's just
A
a bad
dish in a
bowl.
china cabinet.
There you go. A cutting board and a shop. That's what they say these days.
This is maybe my least favorite start to an episode that we've ever had. I'm
Like the one we're doing right now.
enraged. Yeah, I'm enraged already.
You don't like the idiom of the day?
Idiom of the day just doesn't make any sense. You just say an idiom.
Yeah, it's like you're just bring a bowl in a china cabinet, right?
I don't
Well,
like
I
this.
agree. I agree with the idiom.
You have no regard for our.
You
opinions,
can't.
right?
You already disagreed.
Now Tanner's convinced me. I've been flipped.
How? What did he say specifically? What did he say specifically?
He had a
convinced
use
you?
case for it. He had a use case for it, and it was the fact that
Okay.
you're being a bowl in a cabinet, a china bowl.
Yeah.
That is.
You didn't even. You haven't said it right
You're
one
wreaking
time.
havoc
Resma.
on our opinions in our conversation.
Well, that is the
With
theme
no-
of the
Yeah.
episode. Resma, you could just say that like a speaker, like the speaker on my desk is a bad bowl.
Well, no, because it's not a dish. You know, it's got to be some sort of cookware or vessel, if you will, for like food or liquid.
What about an oven?
That's a pretty good bowl if you think about it. It
It's a
can hold a
horrible
lot.
bowl,
It can hold a lot. Come on,
but you can't eat out of it.
I could eat out of it.
You could eat a meal out of your oven.
You ever seen the movie with that one horror movie called Grandma? Or is that what it's called?
That's not what it was
Where
called.
the kid's walking in the oven now.
I know what you're talking about. I think it was called The Visit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
No. You're thinking of It too.
No.
And that's
not
not what
true.
I'm thinking about.
Just so you guys know, we left Googling in 2021. Nothing that we say here can be backed up with factual knowledge.
We left Googling in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing now? Bing.
Just saying things without any research or well, you have research, but like we can't fact check each other.
Yeah, that's
basically.
true. Yeah, fair
Uh,
enough.
You know how social media sites want to like eliminate fake news and like false information?
yeah.
Do they really?
Well, that's the question. But I want to increase false information or at least decrease fact checking on this podcast.
Is that your take?
No, but I can tell you my take. If I win the hot take game,
Okay.
I'm holding up a
Who has the
number.
who has the best idiom? Is that the hot take?
No, I'm holding up a number.
3.
1 through 3.
3.
2.
It was 2. So Tanner goes first.
best
I guess
idiom.
you're not gonna go first. You
It better not be another
slimy,
idiom.
Slimy man. All right, the best idiom
No.
of them all. All right, that does not actually. What to do?
You had so much time.
Oh, I'm looking at my my list.
No, I know
Yeah.
you're looking at your list. I'm just saying you had a lot of time to pick one take from your list.
Oh, but I'm looking through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
The
I guess we'll
only
just sit
reason
here.
people go skydiving is to say they've been skydiving.
Hold up, let that one cook. It's marinating right now.
You're saying so like it's like the only reason that people went on a trip to Greece is to say that they went on a trip to Greece, like that kind of vibe.
No, because people go to Greece and they like learn about the culture and
want takes?
history. There's reasons to go to Greece. There's no reason to go skydiving.
And the only reason that people go on a roller coaster is to say that they've been on a roller coaster, right?
No,
Why do people go on roller coasters?
because it's awesome and you get to
Mm.
scream with your friends.
What about skydiving?
Yeah, I feel like you can scream with your friends at skydiving.
Well, that's a little less, but like you can feel the thrill of going skydiving by just going on a roller coaster.
Or indoor skydiving, I guess, if
Yeah,
you
or
will.
indoor skydiving.
Yeah.
So
Have
you're
you ever
saying
been?
that.
Have either of you ever been? I've never been.
So you're
Yeah, because we're not.
so you're saying
Go
that
on.
the thrill that you could gain from skydiving, you could gain from doing other activities.
Several, yeah. Jumping on a trampoline, for instance. All you do is fall. Jumping off high dive. That's a great example of feeling the thrill of skydiving. Going
Name
skiing and jumping off a jump.
um,
I, what was?
name 5 other things besides those 3 that you would rather do than
Uh,
skydiving that are like on par
cliff jumping.
with. Okay, so you would cliff jump.
The thing with a bungee cord off a bridge. Zip
Bungee
lining.
jumping?
Ooh.
Bungee jumping, yeah. Drowning.
There's no way you would rather drown than go skydiving.
I attempted drowning. So there.
Say that one more time. What did you say?
I said attempt to drown.
You would rather
That's
try.
not really-
You would rather try to drown yourself than succeed at skydiving.
No, I'm just comparing things to skydiving. That you feel the same thrill. Scuba diving. It feels like you're flying.
No,
You can't go
not at
back
all.
to scuba diving after saying attempting to drown yourself. Your examples for things that equate to skydiving are jumping on a trampoline and trying to kill yourself are the two. Are like, that's your range.
Yeah, it's the thrill of it all.
You're basically saying the thrill of life, huh?
No, obviously not. I'm talking about literally falling and feeling like you're gonna die.
You feel like you're gonna die when you jump on a trampoline.
No, that's the feeling of falling. I have a range. There's feeling of falling up to the thrill of dying.
Hmm.
Mm.
You doing okay? It seems like you're pretty focused on the thrill of dying. Like
Or
that's
the thrill of almost dying, I guess.
Hmm.
Cliff jumping
Adrenaline
seems
junkie.
like. I feel like cliff jumping is a little more dangerous, no? Because you don't really have a safety.
Yeah,
Like you don't have like a
Then who?
parachute. You have like
Trying
a
to
life
drown?
vest. I mean, yeah, you could try to drown if you cliff jumped, technically.
Oh, you're
I think
saying
you
you're
could
saying
succeed to drown.
Yeah.
it's more dangerous cliff jumping than skydiving.
Probably. I bet a higher percentage of people that cliff jump die than skydive because you have no idea how shallow the water is that you're jumping into.
I'm thinking about fact checking you, but I'm not going to. Not going to.
can't.
Not going to.
I'm just saying this and it comes out of my head and I'm saying it's correct.
It must be correct if it came from.
Why
your
does it
mouth.
matter how many people die? It's the same thrill, is what I'm saying.
But you're
How do you
saying that
mean?
instead of skydiving, you could just cliff jump. So what's the problem with skydiving then, if it's not the death thing?
There's no problem with skydiving. I'm saying the effort of going skydiving, people only do it so they can say they skydive. Like, why is it always that thing on people's bucket list, you know? Go skydive. Like that song by Tim or some shit. You know what I'm
By
saying?
Tim. By Timmy. Yeah.
Timmy
I
M.
went sky. Oh, no,
Timmy
we can't sing that.
McGraw.
Can't sing
You
that.
can sing
Oh,
that.
it's copyrighted. Yeah, you can't.
It's
sing that.
copyright. Copyright. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This take just is nothing. Do people
guess-
just cliff jump to say that they've done it?
No, you cliff jump to feel the thrill, and you can do tricks and stuff.
How do you gauge thrill? Like, what's your metric? Like, how
I
close
think I
to
made
death
that
am I?
clear.
How close
How
to death
close
I
to
am.
death you are. I don't understand the difference in your mind between people cliff jumping for like fun and for the thrill and people skydiving just because they want to say that they've done it. I feel like you get the thrill from skydiving, no?
I'm saying there's like, I don't know. I guess you could compare it to like cooking your own Italian food and then going to like a really fancy Italian restaurant, you know?
What?
Wait,
How?
which one is the
Okay.
skydiving in that case?
The fancy Italian.
Oh,
Yeah. That's like
I feel
to the point where you can make an argument like, yeah, you're falling for a longer period of time, and it's more of a expensive experience.
this didn't make any sense. The food, you go to an Italian restaurant because they can probably cook better food than you, and it's an experience, and it's nice to go out and eat somewhere. I don't see how that equates to skydiving versus.
Well, like say
Where
Steve
we-
cliff jump.
Mhm.
Cliff jump really anywhere.
Well, you shouldn't. There, you should be safe about it, right? Know what you're jumping into.
I think you're missing the point. Do you not agree that going skydiving is more of like a lush, like a I don't know, not everyone just goes skydiving. It's pretty expensive and you have to
I
have a
agree.
plane,
I agree.
instructor. Yeah. It's like going to an Italian restaurant, you have to have a server, go out, pay for the food.
So you're saying you're saying that cliff jumping is like the homemade, like you're cooking your own food version of skydiving, which is like going out to a restaurant and having everything given to you.
I'm saying you could compare it to that if you're trying to make a take that people don't just go skydiving to say they went skydiving. But it's a bad example.
Do you think people just
I wouldn't accept that argument. I was just bringing up a counterpoint to prove that my point is still valid.
this take is a bowl in a China shop. Did I use that correctly?
are you asking
In the
me or
sense
asking
that you
Tanner?
guys are giving me nothing, then yeah.
That's not what the idiom means. You don't know anything
Well,
about
then
idioms.
It's a bad idiom for you to use here.
So I
I
use
don't
it
know.
wrong, you could say. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think this is a very like, I don't know. I disagree because skydiving is on my bucket list, but not for
That's
not for I would never post anything like that. Like, you know how people post a picture of them like this tied to behind like their
Yeah.
instructor. Their
Mhm.
instructor's just on their
Yeah.
back and you're taking a selfie and the instructor's just like, I don't know whether to smile or not. I would never
Yeah.
do something like that. Absolutely not.
Yeah, you would blur the instructor's face out.
Yeah.
all right.
exactly.
If you ever go skydiving, you are not allowed to post on social media at all.
Agree. You'll be the first to know that I went.
And you can't tell us that you ever went skydiving.
That's
Agree.
not true. You're allowed to
Agree.
tell.
No, that's yes.
For the purposes of this bet, Tanner, I'll take you on that. If I ever
Then
go
you'll never
skydiving,
know, Tanner. You'll never know if you're wrong.
You'll never know.
No.
Never know.
But you could tell like Cameron or something. Just I guess don't tell me. I don't know.
Okay, so
Cameron could be the medium. The middle.
I'm
guy.
the only one that Resma's allowed to tell that he went skydiving.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the mediator.
But
can't
am I
even tell
allowed
your
to tell you,
family?
Tanner?
Yeah, to like prove that he didn't tell anyone else.
I don't want to be in the middle of this.
What do you want to be in the middle of? Because it's clearly not this take at all.
No, this is
Nothing
a
about
horrible
this that
take.
interests you.
You haven't given any sound reasoning. You've equated.
Are you kidding me? I've given you so many reasons. There's several ways where you can feel the thrill of skydiving without actually going skydiving. The only reason people go is to say they went skydiving.
Okay, I guess I disagree that you can get the same thrill from jumping on a trampoline / drowning yourself than you can from skydiving. I think it's a completely different experience.
Than skydiving?
Yes.
I was giving you a range of examples. What about cliff jumping from like 40 feet, 50 feet high?
Completely different because you're skydiving from like 500 feet. I don't know how far you skydive, but it's definitely more than 40 feet. You see like the earth when you skydive. That's so cool.
You see the Earth when you're flying in a plane.
Yeah, but you're not falling towards it. You don't get the adrenaline.
So you want the same experience of seeing the Earth as you're falling while feeling that adrenaline rush.
That's
That's
one
why.
of
That's
the
why
cool
people go
parts of it.
skydiving.
Is your take
Yeah.
mainly about people, or is it about like skydiving in general? Like, do you just not
People.
like people?
People.
Okay.
100%
Okay.
people.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't know. I think that there are people that go skydiving for fun, not just to tell people that they've done it. That's why I disagree. But I will agree with you that there are probably people who go skydiving just to say that they've done it, just to tell people about it.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Yeah.
But do you agree with the take?
Say your take one more time.
People only go skydiving to say they've been skydiving.
Yeah. I think I agree with that, actually. I do agree with that overall, but I disagree with most of your argument. You know what I mean? You presented facts that didn't support it.
We talked about something that wasn't your take for like 20 minutes. Like, apparently your take was more about the people than the actual activity.
Sure, because I just gave a lot of examples for y'all to work with. So y'all could have talked about any.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tanner, for your take. I'm holding up a number as 1 or 2.
2. It was 2. Oh, this is
2.
perfect because we've been talking about, well, no, Tanner was talking about an Italian restaurant. And coincidentally, my take's about restaurant culture. The take is that Western restaurant culture is just a wash overall, specifically in America.
Okay.
Thoughts? Initial thoughts? Let that cook a little bit. Let it marinate.
What do you mean by wash?
Just the whole structure of you going to a restaurant and then being waited on for like a service.
Yeah, people only go to restaurants so they can say they've been to the restaurant.
That's very fair,
So
Tanner. That's
false.
actually in my argument, but
That's not true.
it's more about like the structure that's in place between the relationship of like a waiter and like someone who's being waited on. For example,
Yeah, it's a
like
very servant
yeah, like you are
relationship.
in America, you're kind of expected to tip like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you tip like 18-20% or something.
Yeah.
And the waiters are very much dependent on that for their living. Like that's why they've chosen to wait. It's a means to an end is basically what I'm saying. Like nobody like went into being a waiter waitress to do that for the rest of their life. Maybe they did, maybe, but in the general case, I feel like most don't take their jobs as seriously. You know what I mean? And I think that's like a consequence of like just Western culture, like in general. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Spain, you tip people and they're like, why are you tipping me? Because they actually get a livable wage.
So like I was
I
in
think that's
Japan
right.
a few weeks ago, and it's interesting because at some restaurants you actually pay before you sit down, and they don't accept like any tips, like at all.
Whoa.
Isn't that nuts? And the service
kinda cool.
is actually better than in the States. It's almost as if like they still take their job seriously, and they know that they just have to be performing like the top level. And
I'm gonna
I don't
disagree
know.
with. I think that's just a one-time experience. Probably a nicer restaurant, right?
No,
No,
actually.
That's no,
No?
you're not supposed to tip in Japan. Like it's considered impolite.
Yeah.
Not just impolite, disrespectful.
Actually, though, some people do take offense. Like I was walking to my hotel and this person was helping me with the bags, and I tried to like give them money, and he was like, no. He was very like strongly saying, no, don't do that.
I think it's just I think that might just be a Japan thing.
Well,
Like
think
a
about it
culture where
like
they're just more friendly and they respect people more. Because in Spain, the service is terrible.
Yeah.
Like most restaurants you go to, they're either late with the food, they get annoyed with how much food you're ordering. And I mean, it's not like unreasonable, but it's definitely not the same as the US, because they're actually kind of working for tips.
Well,
But yeah,
I feel like Spain, I don't think that's a tips thing. I think it's a culture around dinner thing. Because don't people eat insanely late in Spain and also spend like 3 hours at restaurants in Spain?
right. That yeah,
I feel like
but
I feel
they
like eating
still
is supposed to be like a very laid back experience.
It should be. Like, I honestly prefer that type of service from a waiter or waitress, because imagine you're like at a restaurant in America and you have to wait for your food, and it's taking like an hour. And then you have to kind of eat really quickly because, this waiter actually depends on the quantity of people who are coming to the restaurant to like get tips, get more of an income. Like, that just kind of makes sense to me. Like, if I don't want to be at a table for like 3 hours, you know.
Yeah.
But if I want to eat out, I want to enjoy myself.
So Cam, are you saying like when Americans go out to eat in Spain, they're not adjusting to the culture, and that's why they're not treating the
I don't, it's
customers as
nothing
well?
about like the treatment. I'm more so saying like the speed at which the dinner happens is more of a cultural thing as opposed to like a service based thing. The being rude stuff, I think, is probably because you're American and people don't like Americans in
Mhm.
Spain, would be my guess. Unless they're just mean. I think people are mean in France, right? That's a thing, Rez.
That's a thing.
So maybe it's the same in Spain.
I once
don't know.
got heckled by a waiter in France. Thoughts?
What'd you do?
I love it. Love it.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, I think, well, that's kind of, you said the American like restaurant culture is washed, but like I'd say the only downside is the wage portion of it, and that's pretty widely known.
Well, let me paint
that
another
they
picture in
rely
your
on
head.
that they rely on tips.
Let's say you're at a night out with like a friend you haven't seen in like 3 years, and then you get one
Naturally.
of those waiters that are like, they're trying too hard. This happened to me last week when a friend was visiting me. The waiter tried a little bit too hard, kind of like chatted it up a little bit too much, made a joke that was a little far, like overstepping. And then they just kind of like kept on trying, like recommending stuff and like coming by the table to engage with us, when all along you just wanted to be, left alone and eating and, catching up with your friend.
And you think that that's a result of them wanting your tips?
Yes, 100%. Well, I mean, I still tipped them great, but
Yeah.
like in that scenario, like I would have greatly appreciated like just time to enjoy myself.
Maybe he was or she was hitting on someone at your table.
Yeah. Did you
Fair.
sense a sexual attraction of any kind?
Yeah, I definitely got heckled by the same waiter.
It was the same waiter from France who moved to America and served you again.
He moved to Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
It's like it's a Nurse Joy scenario. Imagine every time you went to a restaurant, it was the same
Or an
waiter.
Officer Jenny for a hat.
Same concept, Tanner.
Yeah. I was a Jenny. I main Jenny over.
Yeah, I was a
over
Jenny stan.
Joy. I kind of hated
Jenny over
Nurse
Joy.
Joy.
Jenny definitely has more character depth.
Yeah. Was it? Was there an episode where one of the Jennies was like corrupt or something?
I don't know.
Like
Officer-
evil Jenny?
Evil
Like
Jenny.
defund the police, Jenny. I think that's
Yeah,
that's definitely what it was.
They don't get paid. No one
No.
fucking Pokemon gets paid.
I think Pokemon has, like, in the anime, at least in the game, it's a heavy. The economy is heavy, but in the anime, do they? I don't think they ever mention money. I think the society has progressed past the point where they need to pay for goods and services. I think everyone is just like fine.
I think that's right.
They
I
also-
don't remember.
They also consistently camp outdoors on their adventures with like no care in the world. They somehow always have like freshly cooked meals.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
Well,
And
it's because
they
Brock's
always,
there.
Yeah, Brock's
Okay.
there. But like if Ash were on his own as a
what
10,
about season 8?
I don't know who's the male sidekick in season 8. You don't know. You don't know
How?
shit.
From Sun and Moon, probably. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know who that is. Resma, I think that you brought up another good point about Western dining culture, and one of the downfalls of the tip system is that at certain places, especially in New York, where some tables you sit at have like a 90-minute like cap.
Oh, wow.
You have to finish your meal and be out by within 90 minutes. That might sound like a long time, but it flies by. And it's not necessarily like if you like each time the waiter comes to your table, it matters. Like if the server comes by and you're like, actually, can you give us a second? Then you lose like 5 minutes of your 90
Oh,
minutes.
because they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then they'll come back later and then you're like one order behind. You know what I mean? And it,
Yeah,
it kind of
exactly.
creates a stress.
Don't want to be stressed when I'm eating.
Well,
I'm not a
doesn't
stressed eater.
that- Is it like a reservation type restaurant?
It's
No.
you want, I mean, it's not like a Fuzzies, but it's like a, you don't have to have a reservation to get in, but
Well, I
It's-
don't want to disrespect Fuzzies, but yeah, go on.
I'm saying it's not like it's not fast casual. It's very much like, you go
Like
there
an
for dinner.
Ogar.
Like what?
Like a
Ogar.
what? Oh,
What did he say?
what did you say? What's the abbreviation
Olive-
there?
Ogar.
Oh,
It's nicer than Ogar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These are like fully restaurants, not chains. Like fully restaurants. And it's just they want you to move along so that number one, the restaurant can make more money, but number two, so the servers can get more tips.
I mean, you both have worked in like the service industry at Peace Love, Little Donuts. What was your
Oh, yeah, we
experience
didn't work
like
for Tips,
dealing
yeah.
with like customers who are just like really shitty towards the staff?
There's no. I don't think
Was
we
there
had
ever a
enough
case?
interaction for that.
No,
There was
Okay.
there was one guy, but the owner took the brunt of the force. I pissed
Good.
this guy off really bad.
Oh, what'd you do?
I don't remember. I think it was taking too long. It was like the third
We
day that we were
dumped the dough
open.
into the fry.
It was like
Again.
no, it wasn't that. That was bad. But this was like the third day that we were open, and like I didn't know how to make all the donuts yet, so I was like looking. He ordered like 3 dozen donuts, and I was looking at the the card. They have cards that say like how you make
like
each
the
donut.
Maypee bake and
Yeah,
the
and
chocolate cheese. Yes.
and this guy was pissed. I do think that tipping creates a little bit more of a sense of entitlement for the diner. I think it creates worse customers because they feel like it's a bit of a power complex where they're like, I can withhold my tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you
like,
better wait on
exactly.
me hand and foot because I could give you 5%. And that could be the difference between you eating breakfast tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, Resma, can you just say your take one more time so that we can agree or disagree?
Yeah, absolutely. So Western restaurant culture, specifically like American Western restaurant culture, is a wash, just overall.
Did you say-
Let's
did
talk
you-
about the positives of it, though.
Well, did you deliver all of your points, Resma, that you wanted to deliver? I know you had some written down.
I mean, I had one more that was like, if you, let's say like you paid the bill early because for whatever reason, and you just wanted to hang out. Like, for example, I'll use the Plucker scenario. We're at Pluckers and we kind of
Yeah.
like, we're doing trivia. We pay the bills already, but we have like 2 more rounds of trivia. That should still be a use case for like the waiter to wait on us. Thoughts? Like just because we paid the bill and we paid our tip doesn't mean they should still not come by and be like, oh, do you want a refill for this? Like, do you need anything else? Like, the refill terms are still in place even after I've paid the bill. But it's often the case that they just kind of stop.
And just kind of stop waiting on you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a Western exclusive problem, is it?
Is your take more
Maybe in
Western,
Japan.
or is it everything but Japan?
No, it's more
Yeah.
Western. It's more Western because American, I should say. I'll just say American because I don't mind like in Europe when you just have bad service, like because you're setting my expectation up as it is. Like America, when you have this power dynamic between customer and waiter, it kind of creates like a weird, like, should I be expecting more service, less service? Like how much do I need to tip based on how they did? Like it's just another layer that is completely a wash.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also don't want to feel bad while I'm eating. Like I don't want to be thinking about like, why is this waiter so pissed at me?
I'd argue that that's an indication of you being accepting of American tipping culture. Like if you go to China, like nobody, like the waiters will be rude to you, and like you go to like a Chinese restaurant, like that's usually how it is. But it's just like not.
Yeah,
It's not. What
but
you
you're
think about.
saying, I get that, but you're also saying that like Western culture is washed, where not Western culture, Western restaurant culture, but like the aspect of the waiters treating the customer nicely, I feel like is a plus, as opposed like just that aspect is a plus as opposed to them just not treating you nicely.
I guess that's my take. I would rather have I'd rather have the non-Western restaurant culture.
But Tanner, I don't feel like that's America specific. Like waiters, there are waiters that treat you poorly in America, but there are also waiters that treat you nice in Japan. You know what I mean? Like I went to Italy and all the waiters were really nice.
Yeah.
I don't think being treated nice is a Western or American specific experience. I think it's dependent on where you go.
So tipping doesn't affect how they treat you.
I don't think for everyone. I think it depends on where you work and how dependent you are on your tips. Like there are places here in New York where that you're going to get a lot of tips. If you work at a nice restaurant, like you're going to get a lot of tips. So you're not going to be any nicer or treat anyone differently than you would have if you didn't work for tips. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No,
I do think.
Okay.
This is my hot take. Tipping culture actually changes the way that customers act more than it changes the way that servers act.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think you may be right there. In my experience, like most waiters, like I said, it's kind of a means to an end for them. They don't really, they don't see themselves doing that for the rest of their lives. Mostly because it's not livable, like in America.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not like no one's arguing against the wage issue.
No, the wage issue is bad, and everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
okay.
my take. America restaurant culture, a wash.
So you think Japan is the best restaurant culture?
I didn't say that, but
Or
it's up there.
but
for
like
sure.
if Western restaurant culture is washed, then what isn't washed? Like all other restaurant culture?
No, I wouldn't say go so far as to say that I like some more than others. I just know that America's is particular, or in my opinion, America's is particularly bad. Like I prefer like Japan. Yeah. If I had to pick, yeah.
I think that I really love going to restaurants. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Just to say you did it, or
exactly. I do I think that the wage, and I wish that we didn't have to tip. Not that I was like, I don't want to tip. It's more like I wish that people didn't just rely on my tips. But I don't think that West American restaurant culture is a wash. So I disagree.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree as well.
Boo! At least Tanner got an agree, huh?
Yeah, I guess that means I'll win. Hottest take. Thoughts?
Maybe
No.
so. But wait till you hear mine. My take is that spoons.
Wait, what? All right.
My take is that spoons, the utensil, were invented to be a breakfast utensil and not to be used at any other meal.
Well, is a spoon a bowl? Let me
No.
just start off by
Yes,
asking
No.
that.
it's a bowl.
It's a bowl.
No.
It's a
It's
bowl. A spoon is a
No.
bowl. A spoon's
spoon
a
is a
bowl.
utensil. It's not a
like,
dish.
It's like the egg and the chicken. Like, what came first, the spoon or the bowl? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
The bowl, because you can go.
the bowl did. The bowl came first.
The bowl came first.
The bowl definitely came first.
Well, that's my
Um,
take. Spoons are for breakfast, is my take. You shouldn't use them at any other meal.
Well, off the dome, I disagree, because what if I'm eating a nice bowl of pho?
Soup isn't food.
Okay,
I
what if
think.
I'm
I think.
eating?
Wait. Let's go back. Let's hold off on that one for a second.
I've already had
Let
this
that
take.
one
This
cook.
this take is already canon. Soup isn't food.
Let that one cook for a
Oh.
little bit. Okay.
So why did you need a spoon for breakfast? Then? Why can't you just use a fork?
Yogurt, cereal.
So cereal's food, but not soup.
Yeah, because cereal is not soup.
I don't,
it's
I
cereal.
don't know if that was part of your take. But what about like pudding?
Yeah, breakfast pudding.
What about a snack though? Like if I'm eating pudding for a snack,
You shouldn't be eating pudding for a snack.
what if the waiter serves it to me and I have to do it? I have to eat it to be polite. You're at a restaurant and it's a nice one. They serve you some really nice pudding.
Use a fork.
All right. I can already tell that what I'm about to say is just gonna have some stupid reason. What about ice cream?
Ice cream's dessert. You should lick
Not
ice
food.
cream. You should lick ice cream on a cone.
It needs to come in. So now you're like anti-bowl.
Yeah, you just sounds like you're very anti-bowl here.
No,
a
I
China
actually
shop.
love bowls, but meals that you eat in bowls with a fork are the best meals. Maybe that's for a take for another day.
Mm,
Yeah,
I think I agree with that.
I would write that off for another day, and maybe never ever say.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, Tanner.
If we're back to the China, to the what is it, the bowl in the
Yeah.
China shop thing?
People who live in China cabinets should not throw stones.
Gosh, well, what
What
about
if I-
like
Wanna see the
Grapefruit,
world
that's a breakfast
fall apart.
food. What, Tanner?
Eat it with your head. You don't need a spoon to eat grapefruit. Like a lot, it's not necessary.
I
You
don't
like
think
a
you need
fucking
it, but it's
orange.
nice.
do you think spoon is
But
the most
then
obsolete?
It's nice to have a spoon when you're eating pudding, but apparently you use a fork in your.
Yeah,
case.
like you could use a fork for all of these.
You can go
You're
pudding
very
cup like the,
contradictory right now.
or you smash the pudding cup. You go,
Oh, that's an actual thing. What is it called? Do you guys remember
Sounding.
Danimals Crush Cups? Danimals Crush Cups.
yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you don't have to eat it with a spoon, but you
Yeah.
actually did have to eat it with a spoon.
And here's another take. A lot of things that like you don't eat for breakfast that you shouldn't be eating these things anyway. If they need a spoon and it's not breakfast, you shouldn't be eating them. But you can eat with like chips or with like bread.
So a chip is a bowl. Let's just get that out of the way. In that
That-
scenario, it's a bowl. It's a bowl.
Maybe like the Tostitos, like
Yeah.
it's more agreeable than what you're trying to explain right now. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
If you have to eat it with a spoon and it's not breakfast, you should not be eating it.
What about serving spoons?
Like that's you don't eat with serving spoons.
Do you eat your
But
omelets
you
with a
can use
fork?
them for other meals.
Yeah, it's a serving spoon. It's not a spoon. That's why you say serving spoon. What,
Mm.
Resma?
Do you eat your omelets with a fork?
Yeah.
I actually switch it up now that I think about it.
Sometimes you do
forks.
fork, sometimes you do spoon.
Yeah, like if I'm out of forks, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna use a spoon
Oh,
for
yeah.
something.
That's fine. It's breakfast. But if you do breakfast for dinner, you have to eat it with a fork.
So what would you eat with a spoon for
That's
breakfast?
no.
Other than
Yogurt.
cereal. Other than cereal and
Oh,
yogurt.
There's not much you need to eat.
Guess so.
Leftover soup from last night that you're eating for
I
breakfast
thought that's not a food.
is not.
Oh.
You can still
But
eat
like
it.
if you wanted to, it'd be okay because it's in the
It's
morning.
breakfast. Yeah, because it's
So
breakfast.
it's not even breakfast. It's just because it's in the morning. Like
Breakfast time.
foods at dinner
Breakfast time
is
ends at
not
11.
okay.
Breakfast
Right,
time ends at
but
11.
you're saying if you had breakfast for dinner, it doesn't matter the type of food, it's the time you eat it. So like you can't have yogurt for dinner, even
If you eat it
you're
with a
having
fork.
breakfast for dinner. If you okay.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I wrote this in my takes list, and it made a lot of sense back then. And I'm trying to make sense of it now as I'm saying it. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but we ride.
It
I'm
does.
riding with it.
It does.
It does make sense. But I'll paint you another picture. Let's say you're in Italy, the waiter's being very rude to you because they're not expecting a tip. And they
And
serve
they-
to you a bowl of pasta,
In
but
a
they
China
give
shop.
you, yeah, in a China shop, but they give to you a fork and a spoon because in Italy they do you spin the little
Yeah.
noodles around the spoon. Yeah,
That's
kind of
okay.
like that. Kinda
That's
like
okay because you don't eat with the spoon. It's a spinning spoon. That's why they call it a spinning spoon.
that. Is that what they call it? I wish I could
Mhm.
check you on that.
No, you
I
can't.
wish.
So what do you mean you don't eat with it? Like you're technically in the process of eating while you're using it.
No, you eat with the fork. You spin with the spoon.
Mm. But you
Well, what if you
spin the
wanna-
fork.
Yeah.
You spin
You
the
spin the
fork
fork.
into the spoon. You use the spoon to spin, and you spoon the spork to eat.
Say that 10 times fast.
You use the spoon to spin, and you eat the pasta with the fork. You can spin and eat with the fork, but you just spin with the spoon.
So you have to put it in your mouth to have it considered eating.
Yeah,
That wasn't me dabbing.
I think you
it
could go
was.
one step further and
What
eliminate the
about
spoon.
chopstick? Can you
like
use chopsticks
altogether.
for anything?
You can't eliminate the spoon altogether. Because what about yogurt
The Animals Crush Cups.
for breakfast? Yeah, or
For bre-
Go-Gurt.
yeah.
That's true.
Yogurt, yeah.
Stop saying things that you explained earlier that were counterpoints to what you're saying right now.
Well, that didn't make any sense what you just said, Tanner. So
No.
What about chopsticks? Can you use chopsticks for anything?
any
Now
time of the
that
day.
all utensils are on the table.
Any
what
time
about
of the day.
knives? Do you know what
Huh?
they call me?
Knife.
Knives
They call
out.
you knife, not
call me
knives.
blade.
Knife.
They call you Blade.
Because I have a lot of knives.
And you have a lot of knife.
I thought they called you Chili in my boots. JD.
Because I have a lot of chili.
Yeah. In your boots.
Or because
Which
I
is
have a lot of
also
food.
a bowl, if you think about it.
Is
Tanner-
chili food or is that a soup to you?
Chili's food.
Yeah, I just eat that with fork, I guess.
If the chili's thick enough, which it should be, you shouldn't have watery chili. You should be able to eat it with a fork. Chili's not about the broth; it's about the sopping mixture.
Oh, I don't like that word, sopping.
I don't like how you're describing chili.
Sopping. Chili is a sopping mixture. It is.
Eaten with a fork.
Yeah.
What about?
I actually do eat my chili with a fork.
No, you don't. I don't believe you.
I do.
I wish I could fact check you on this.
I use
From
spoons
Wendy's?
very rarely. Very rarely.
What if you run out of forks?
I don't actually. Forks are the utensil that I have the most of, I would say.
What about sporks? Are those on the table as well?
Sporks are kind of an abomination.
I kind of think they should eradicate forks.
Eradicate the
entirely.
spork.
Yeah.
What if we just go back to eating with our hands, no utensils?
The caveman
Well,
Right.
your hand's a spoon,
Yeah.
though. Your hand's a bowl slash spoon. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your hands can actually, Cameron, your hands can be every utensil except a fork. Thoughts?
Then a knife.
Try this
What
one on
about
for
a knife?
size.
You can't stabby.
I could.
You can't do that, Resma.
If okay. Oh, Tanner's doing the Mbappe. If your finger, I think your finger to a giant is a knife.
No, because like a wasp's hand isn't a knife to us.
It could be, I think. I think you could puncture your skin because your skin is, the openings in your skin are too big, and the wasp's hand is so small.
That's true.
I don't think a wasp's hand can penetrate your skin.
Why is a needle sharp to us?
Because it's so small, right?
Because it's so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay, maybe this is my take. My finger.
I
This is
don't
my
like
take for
where
next
this is
episode.
going.
Preview. My finger to a giant is a needle.
Is that your new take? Or is it the
No,
is
it's
it
my
the
take for
spin?
next
Still
Okay.
made like an elephant's skin, like pores or openings aren't bigger than ours.
Elephant isn't big enough though.
You have to
Like
go
it has to be
bigger.
big. If it was a really big elephant, then my hand would be in my finger.
So
Would be a
like
needle.
you're saying the freaking shells are, I don't know, bigger. Your finger can fit in between the stuff.
You sharpen things by making the blade gradually smaller.
Thanks.
That's all I'm saying. Is that if the thing
That's,
was,
that's all I'll say. That's all
Well,
I'll say.
So like you make your blade smaller, so it would go to reason that if you made the thing that you're trying to cut bigger, it would have the same effect.
Stop
be
shaking.
really big.
Stop nodding your head, right?
It's got to be really big.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah.
to be really, really big.
Yeah. But theoretically possible. Like a little tardigrade, if it sits on a needle, that's flat. That's like a floor.
It would have to be like the Magic School Bus when they transport themselves down to like really, really small, and then we infiltrate. Like that episode, they went inside Carlos's body. You guys remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, like theoretically, I should be able to be like a bullet if I go like this and jump, and my head would
Like
pierce
what's something that's really small?
a needle.
My cock.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Do you agree or disagree that spoons are for breakfast?
Disagree.
Disagree heavily.
100%.
This is a hit job.
It's not even a hit job. I grew up with like eating rice with nearly every meal, and then we did a thing where you use the fork to push the rice and meat onto your spoon, and then you put the spoon in your mouth. Like that's
very
how we used to
Asian.
eat.
Use the
It is.
spoon to push it onto the fork. And then you're
That's-
solving all the problems.
What problem is there to solve?
This because you shouldn't be eating food with a spoon outside of breakfast.
I disagree.
It's
I disagree.
impolite.
I disagree with this.
Okay, let's restate our takes. Starting with me, my take was that spoons are for breakfast. Resma
Mine is that American restaurant culture is a wash.
and Tanner.
Mine is people only go skydiving to say they've been skydiving.
Okay. There's
You
another
can't
hard
give me
vote.
shit for my take when your take literally made no sense.
Sorry, what did you say? I was deep in my mind space. I was in my comfort zone. Does everyone know who they're gonna vote for?
I do, unfortunately. I didn't have to cook on this one.
I think I know who I want to win. And I'm
Oh
picking
my
this
God.
person.
God. Who do I vote for? Okay. Okay. I know. So we'll vote Tanner, then Resma, then me. Ready?
Wait, like sorry, yeah.
You know what I mean? In 3, 2, 1.
Resma.
Cameron.
Tanner.
Oh, well, God damn it.
Is David there, Resma?
David is there.
Can you get him?
Let me get David.
I think this is the
David,
second tie in a row.
We need you for a tiebreaker.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
All right, let's do. David's
Well-
here. I'm gonna change like the sound. Should I change like the sound so you can hear the takes? Or should I just tell him
No.
straight up?
You tell him. Don't tell him whose is whose.
Okay. So here are the takes. First take is that people only go skydiving to say that they went skydiving. The second take is that American restaurant culture is a wash. And then the third take is that all spoons should not even be used in breakfast. Is that right, guys?
No spoons only. 'Cause that's the opposite.
No, sorry, the opposite. Spoons should only be used for breakfast and no
It
other
should
meal,
only be used for breakfast.
and not any other meal. Sorry, the complete opposite.
What do we mean by the restaurant culture is a wash?
Just take it how it is on the surface.
Okay.
Just trust. Just a vibe vote right
The
now.
hottest of the three. Oh man. I like the first one.
David said that skydiving won. The skydiving take won.
Let's go.
Tanner. So Tanner won.
Good job, Tanner.
Tanner won. Hottest
Thanks,
take.
Dave.
I hate that take so much.
I know it's such a bad take. God damn it.
What is my $40?
Because his argument was so washed.
Your argument was horrible, Tanner.
really bad.
Oh, worse
Yeah.
than yours, Cameron?
Huh?
You said you can eat yogurt for breakfast and dinner, but you can only use a spoon for one.
I didn't tell you to
that's
vote for
another
me.
pod.
I didn't tell you to vote for me.
Oh, Resma's take was more valid.
Well, the take
Is
that
it-
I least wanted to win won. So
Is it validest take, Tanner? Is it the most valid take?
it's
I
hottest take.
take a lot in consideration when voting on the hottest.
That's it. Follow us on TikTok and subscribe to the channel. TikTok is at Real Mountain Men.
Comment your best idiom in the chat, if you will.
Comment your best idiom underneath this video.
Don't comment
is
if
gonna be
you've
on
ever been
TikTok.
skydiving, though.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bad.
So no one who's been skydiving can comment. You can only comment your favorite idiom.
It'll actually prove me wrong if you don't comment that you've been skydiving.
True. So everyone, we should try to prove Tanner wrong, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Bye. Number 10, Cooper Rush.
Plump Goops Podcast.